I think we can start in order to save time. As we announced, Dr. Yusuf Günaydın, he's also associate professor, by the way, delivered his speech on the subject or topic of crisis management in tourism or tourism industry. And it is planned as 1.5 hours, including Q&A, that is the question and answers. And I'm giving the microphone to him, and he will add some extra information about him. Okay, Dr. Günaydın, we are ready to listen to you.
Thank you. If our friends, the foreigner friends, can understand Turkish, it's better to continue in Turkish. But if she's not easy to understand Turkish, so let's continue in English then.
Hello, Doctor. Sorry, I cannot understand Turkish very well.
Okay, so let's continue.
It's okay. Yes, but it will be also okay if you talk in Turkish, because I'm the only foreigner here.
No problem for me, but I'm thinking about our friends.
Sorry, by the way, there will be more foreign students. I think,
right.
I think 2 or 3 more foreign students will be participated.
Okay.
And that's why you can continue in English.
English. Okay, as you said, our topic is going to be today crisis management in tourism industry. To be honest, when we say crisis in tourism, Turkey is one of the first countries in the world, because let's say from my point of view, I've been working in tourism industry since 1990. Then my experience started with the Gulf crisis in Kuwait. Then nearly after more than 30 years, Turkey has to live together with a crisis, and we experienced many different crises like earthquake. Let's say this year in March, there was a great effect. After March, all tourism sales affected by that earthquake, and the pandemic. All the world has been affected by that pandemic. And before, let's say, in 2006, I think, if I'm not wrong, in Asian part of the world, there was another pandemic like SARS, MERS. But the other part of the world, of course, was not very effective. But the Asian part really affected. And the war around the countries, let's say there's a war now in Israel and Gaza, and some European people thinking we are very, very close to that area, so they may have negative decision about having holiday in our country just because of the war, which is more than 2,000 kilometers from the Aegean part of Turkey. But this is it's also a reason for our country as a crisis. And the terror, in internal or external terrors, they say we experienced many years ago. The last one in Sultanahmet, I think, if I'm not wrong, 16 German tourists was killed there. After that time, the German tourists have still suspicions about Istanbul. Nearly more than 7 years passed, but they did not forget that terrorist attack in Istanbul. So it's a really big negative. There is a very important and great negative effect for Istanbul tourism, of course. And as you remember, in 2006, we had another crisis. It was a kuş gribi. I don't know in English how it say, hocam. Kuş gribi.
Avian flu.
Avian flu, yes. Let's say avian flu. It was really interesting for us because we were in center of that crisis. It was 2006, I think, and all the sales are very good. I remember, especially European sales, reservations going very well. And suddenly there was a news from eastern part of Turkey, I think Van, that avian flu started or came into the Turkey. Then in 1-2 months, I think in 2 months, all Europe started to giving information about this avian flu to all the European market, tourism market, and they say the avian flu is only in Turkey, in Bodrum, in Marmaris, in Kuşadası, but it's not in. It was not in Kos. Very strange. Not in Rhodos, only in Turkey. Then we were in Holland, an Amsterdam tourism fair, and someone came to me, a TV representatives, and she said, let's have a chat. Okay, and she was asking me about questions about avian flu. So are you still expecting customers from Holland? I said, of course, yes, but there's avian flu in your country. And I asked, are you sending gas to Kos? Yes. Rhodos? Yes. Other Greek island just 6 miles from Turkey? Oh, no problem in Kos, but yes, problem in our country. So people in Europe, in tourists or the operators or flight companies, they do have 2 different understanding or opinions about one crisis. One, if they are in European Union or that country in their political group like European Union, they are ready to forget it or to ignore it. But if the crisis is other countries out of Europe, like Turkey or other countries outside Europe, they say, oh, this is a big crisis. So of course there will be a great negative effect from that crisis to Turkey and our their neighbor countries. So totally end of these samples, I want to say there are and there has been and there are and there will be different crises in the future, but hotels or countries, governments, everyone try to be more strong against this crisis, because now we are getting ready for 2024. But unfortunately, I cannot say that next season will be perfect, because I don't know. I cannot guess what problem may come to our country, may come to Europe or Asia or the world totally. So I'm not sure. I cannot be sure. But especially the last crisis, pandemic, had educated us strongly, because it was my first and I hope last pandemic experience, because we opened our hotel in July, and I did not believe in myself that in July there was no guest in our hotel, and not only in my hotel, many hotels. So we saw that everything is okay, everything goes well, okay, no one think about the bad things. But on the other hand, there is still possibility, even 1% or 99%, a crisis may come, and we had to stop our business, or we have to decide very difficult decisions. I mean, we experienced that in pandemic time, but finally we cannot say everything will be very good for next year or coming years. We just hope there will not be any negative things or negative impacts from any kind of crisis. Then we will have a good season, we hope and we wish. And I'm continuing, sir, or someone will ask me any question about these things. Okay, let's continue.
Okay. There, Yusuf, if you have any visual material, and you can share through screen.
I don't have, to be honest, so no, I have some notes.
Okay, okay, no problem.
Okay.
Hocam, may I ask a question?
Sorry?
May I ask a question?
Yes, there's a question from Aslı.
Yes. Yusuf Hocam, you have told that, of course, you cannot guess what type of crisis will come in the future. And of course, we don't want any crisis for our sector. But Are you taking any precautions for possible crises that may happen in the future?
I want to say yes, we had all precautions, but in fact, our memory is so weak for the crisis, because everything goes bad, we are feeling ourselves very strong, very self-defense. But when everything finished, we forget everything. So I can't say we are ready for any, let's say, any crisis. No, we have some small precautions, but in generally, this crisis bigger than our vision, because if there's a terror if there's a terror attack, what can I do? Or if there is a pandemic, what can I do? Or if there is a political problems with Turkey and Syria or European Union, what can I do? So it's not easy to say, yes, we had all our precautions. No, we can't do that. We just trying to do our job quite well, as we design, as we inform the guests who like to come to our country. We just trying to do our job very well. That's all. Because we are very, very, very small in this world. As a hotel or as a destination, as a country, because the crises are really, really big. The countries, not only one country, all the world should come together and try to have some precautions for the crisis as we have experienced before. So briefly, I should say, we have nothing to do now. We're just following the world. Yes.
Thank you very much, Hocam.
I can continue, Orhan Hocam. And all the countries, I'm sure all the countries have different characteristics, of course, but our country is a very strange country, because if something happens in where I'm talking about the tourism and the crisis in tourism now, if something happens negative, let's say a terror in Istanbul or in Ankara or in eastern part of Turkey, many operators who is bringing tourists to our country, they immediately announced all the negative information to their nations, and they say Turkey is not very secure country. Think about it, or think once again to go there or stay at home. But if something happens in Europe at their political, let's say, territory, if something happens in Europe, they are trying to sort out the problem altogether. Do you remember? I'm sure you remember the terrorist attack in France, Charlie Hebdo. I think 24 people killed there after that terrorist attack. And in a few days later, all the presidents, prime ministers, they gathered in the street, and they hand in hand, and they walked together. Because France is the center of Europe nearly, so they did not wait that France sort out the problem themselves. No, they came together, they support each other, and they find, or they support France to come back to the real life. So, but if something happens in our country, the thing is not going as it was in Europe. So Turkey has a disadvantage, a great disadvantage. If something happens in our country or around our country, immediately all the countries announce their people, their nations. Turkey is one of the most dangerous countries. Don't go there. If you go there, think about your own security, lots of things. Especially the Scandinavian countries, they started at 6 o'clock in the morning. All Scandinavians, they canceled their flight in one day. It's very quick, but they are not doing that. If something happens in Athens, in Greece, they are not behaving as they did before to our countries. So the world is not equal for Turkey. Turkey must be careful about the political life, because if our relations is good enough with the Europeans or Western Eastern countries, they are not very rigid. They are easy to understand what's going on in the country, and they are ready to forget it and to make their people forget all those problems. But when they have a problem politically with our country, then they announce everywhere, Turkey is a very dangerous country, be careful, be careful, be careful. So finally, our politicians has to be careful, not to have negative relations with our neighbor countries. We should be always positive. Otherwise, maybe in moral way, we are feeling very good, but in the tourism way, we are losing. So this is the main thing for Turkey. The other thing is, let's say we have Greece. There are big operator in Europe which was owned by the Greece investors. If something happens again in our country, there's a Greece operators in England. They do have their airlines or other business. Let's say Olympia Airlines. If something happens in our country, they start to announce Turkey is not secure. Don't go there. Come to Greece. And they use this news in newspapers because they have money power, business power in England. And so, I mean, I want to say there's a great a competition between Turkey and the neighbor countries, especially tourism. In tourism field, let's say Greece and Turkey, Spain and Turkey, they use all these negative news against Turkey. The other thing is for the crisis. This is the local one a little bit. Let's say price stabilizations. We are trying to increase always our hotel price unlimitedly, because this year in Bodrum, maybe you heard about it. All the seaside tourism resort, they were full except Bodrum, because Bodrum increased their prices unlimitedly, unbelievable, from let's say 100 to 300 lira. Then they lost their market till mid of July, and there was really great crisis in Bodrum this year. I mean, when I say last year, I mean actually this season. So this is a local crisis, but crisis affected the Bodrum Peninsula. And related with, again, the crisis, the operators, foreign operators, they downgrade or number of seats from their country to our country, because they say Turkey is not strong enough against terrorism or earthquakes or all other negative things which may affect negatively the people who may come from their countries to our country. So Turkey is not yet a national charter company. That's why if something happens, let's say in UK, in Germany, in Holland, or in Scandinavia, the charter flights, charter companies, they are very fast canceling or downgrade the number of seats. So this is another crisis our country. Then other thing is financial problems. This is a two-part in the tourism. The people who are coming in the other countries, let's say in France or in Russia. Now we see it in Russia, the flying cost is very high. That's why the tourists, they cannot come easily to our country, because last year they paid $300 from Moscow to Bodrum and back. This year they paid $700. It's a great increase. So this is another crisis for our country. But the crisis has two phases now, one in Russia and one in our country. So this is another problem for us. And let's say, and the type of hotels in Bodrum, let's say, In Antalya, there are many 5 stars, but there are not enough 4, 3, 2 stars, 1 stars or apartments. Before, in let's say Marmaris, there were many, but now very limited. So what is the relation with number of the hotel types and the crisis? It's like in Bodrum, we experienced that this year. If all hotels are high quality, then the operators, if they cannot sell easily their seats, they immediately change direction from Bodrum to Marmaris. This year it happened. When we look at the numbers in Bodrum Airport, it is 960,000, but I am sure at least 400,000 divers to other country, other city like Didim, Kuşadası and Marmaris. So this was another crisis problem. This is a bit local, but it was very important. Then the other one and the bigger one, the tour operator is bankrupt. In 2019, Thomas Cook, one of the old and the first one, the tourism, the founder of the tourism, but unfortunately bankrupt, and million pounds they had still unpaid money in our country, but hoteliers, they are not able to do anything, unfortunately. They have to forget now all that money because no one will pay it back to our hoteliers. It was really one of the biggest problems, like pandemic in our country. It was a big problem. And like that, OAT Rising from Holland, some Scandinavian operators, before at least 15 Turkish owner companies, small operators from all Europe, they all bankrupt. So it was another crisis for our country, because when Turkish owner operators organize package tours from Europe to our country, in case of any crisis like terror and other things, that our operators, they never stopped to fly to Turkey, but the foreigners one, they immediately stop their flight. So if there's a crisis after their cancellation, the crisis is going to be 10 times bigger and important. And we had our other local problems. This is also another crisis for us. Now we do not have enough well-educated staff because hoteliers are a bit they are not ready to pay good enough money to the staff. They're always searching for the cheaper one. So it's a great mistake for us. And and all these cheap stuff are a reason not to give good service to our customers. So we are not talking about very much about this one, but this crisis is local and very important for us, because if we do not have enough staff in the future, very near future, we will not be able to provide good service to our guests. And if there is no good service, there will not be guests with high income, and then we always have to search the cheaper one, cheaper tourist will be a reason. Having a less income, then less income will be another negative result. So this is going to be a crisis near future for the tourism industry in our country. And during pandemic, we experienced another one. During the operation, now we will have the same things. The hoteliers have a contract signed in summer season for next year, and we write some prepayment in our contract. Let's say we will start to be paid in January, February, March, million euros. If you think about all the seaside hotels, nearly 1 billion euro, let's say, will be paid till May. So it's a great money, and all the hoteliers use this money to operate their hotels or to renovate their hotels or invest, whatever. Now, after the pandemic crisis, all the operators, they requested their money back. It was really difficult to operate crisis management, because we use that money and the operator said, where is my money? Give it back to me. We said, we will use in this year, and they said, no, I can't see any operation possibilities in near future, so pay my money back. Unfortunately, we spent minimum half, so we did not pay. But then we had really high volumes negotiations, and some partnerships after long years, some partnerships with the hotel groups, hotel chains, and operators. Unfortunately, it stopped. And my experience, it was very difficult. We paid some half of the money back, but then till July, August, it was very, very difficult to manage the hotel operations. So maybe the literature part, they did not know enough about these things, but during the pandemic, this the money problem, paying back the money was a big problem. It was really crisis. Sometimes it was bigger than pandemic itself. And the local, we have also some small crises now. We had in Bodrum, some in Marmaris. The local management, they did not understand how tourism important, unfortunately. So we have some arguments with them. We say you should make our city ready in April, but they understand that in August. So finally, we never have a well prepared city in the early days of the season. Unfortunately, this is one of the small things. But in local base, it's really crisis. Then operators sending cancellations. Your city is not ready. Your area is not ready. Then they cancel the bookings, or they move the bookings from one side to the other side. Then yes, this is local one, but at least 10, 15, 20 hotels are affected by this decision, and they say to the municipality or local authority, you should have the city in time. But unfortunately, we have this crisis always, non-stop. And finally, I should say, as a country, Turkey, two main things. One, we are not very strong in charter flights. If something happens, we lose sometimes a small part, sometimes quarter, sometimes half of the charter flights. So not to have this problem, we need a national charter flight company. The other thing is political. You remember, or better not to give names, when our country has a problem politically in one of the biggest country in Europe, and more than 6-7 million comes from there to Turkey, the newspapers make news most negative about these relations, this communication. And when the people see that, even there is nothing serious, just politically, two leaders, they have no good relations, but they don't care about it. If everything is negative for a country, doesn't matter what reason, terror or not, doesn't matter, they change their face to other countries. So easy, so simple. We're spending million euros. You are teaching there thousands of students or academics, and all Turkey is spending billions dollars in tourism. But with just simple word, we may lose all our strong relations or tourist flow from one destination to another one. I remember the problem in Holland in political time, the election times. Till that time, we had nearly 1 million Dutch tourists from Holland used to come our country, and more than 200,000 in Bodrum. Now only 30,000. When we lost that flow, it never comes back. So this is also a reason for a crisis. So we should be very careful about the relation with the countries, especially with the countries who are sending us tourists. That's all I can say till now, hocam.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Yusuf. Dr. Yusuf Günaydın. As I told you before, Mine Güneşkaya is the I think responsible for the tourism affairs in İzmir Ticaret Odası.
Yes, yes, tourism executive director at this moment and advisor to the president. Then
yeah, okay,
that's it.
Well, I consider that you met so far at or in a fair in foreign countries, because I know that she is participating many times every year, perhaps more than 10 fairs she visited. Have you ever met so far each other? Do you remember?
Actually, no, maybe in some conferences we met. I know your face, actually, but yeah, you. I know your face, but I didn't speak with you in detail about this issue. I didn't know even you are doing a PhD and you're a doctor.
No, it was long time ago.
I think both of you were participating ITB Berlin Fair.
Yes, I participated last year. Last year, yes.
You may.
No, I was there in last time 2019. And
2019, before pandemic.
I was there.
Sure.
Before, of course, every year. And 2000, and during pandemic time, I did not go. And this year I am planning to go again to Berlin.
I hope so, to participate.
Or there or here or anywhere, doesn't matter when we have time. Or tomorrow I will be in tourism.
Yeah, I will be in TTI as well. Yeah,
so
sure.
we can meet somewhere there.
Yes, with pleasure. Thank you very much. We have a stand in Hall B.
Hall B.
Hall B. I don't remember right now the number, but the Izmir Chamber of Commerce one. And also I can text here my phone number. You can call me in any time.
Okay, thank you.
I will be there tomorrow and after tomorrow. Yes, this is me.
Okay. I mean, Mine Hanım, do you have any question on on behalf of Izmir Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah, of course, sure. I listen you. Some also phones unfortunately came now to organize well the B2Bs and everything for tomorrow and after tomorrow. Now I was listening you and you were mentioning about the crisis and the resilience for inter operators, especially for the charters and flights. After pandemic, what is your opinion about Turkey's situation right now? Is there any possibilities to increase the numbers in the region, especially in the Aegean region part? You are in Orca at this moment, I know. Or is there any specific alternative markets? It is increasing right now or not? Such as, for example, Asia or Latin America or United States. What's your opinion?
We are now in resorts, of course. We are doing tourism in resorts. So when we look at the figures, statistics, or tourist arrivals, the records coming from the Muğla governor, I can see 56 countries,
56,
tourists,
right.
but the majority only 6 or 7 countries. The first one, British, from first to the last one, I mean, the British one, and the Russians, and our local market, of course, and this year some Arabic, Israel and Iran, and Holland, Belgium, and Germany. But there is a great a gap between the British number of British tourists and the other one, nearly 1 million tourists from Britain, and the nearest number is maybe 100,000. That's all, or 200,000 from Russia. So the British market is the major one. We signed contract this year. This is the answer for your question. In one hand, we have to have very good relation with the major operators. We have no other way. We have to keep them very strong, and we are trying to do that. On the other hand, we are trying to give more allotments, more rooms to the small market, like Czech Republic. Now, Czech Republic has no flight or one small flight, just 120 seats. This year, I gave them some guarantee. So after some conversations, we decided for three full charters for next year, and they are ready to increase one more flight. As a number, if you compare these numbers, the majority, it doesn't mean anything, maybe 1%. But if you do not have 1%, so you will not have 10% in that market. So we are, and other hoteliers, they are supporting that small market. The main problem is their income level. So we have also Polish operators, the exclusivity. We have only one big one. But life is not easy in Poland. We increased this year 10% or 13% the price level. But they are calling me every week, oh, please give us 3-4%, 5% discount. But on the other hand, we have inflation. Government say 67%, but we have now 130%. I can see the prices. So we have to increase the prices more than euro increase. So they don't understand that. This is another problem. And we had some plans for Arabic market, especially Israel. Now there's a war there. We cancel it. We expect at least 6 rooms daily. This amount is quite big. And the Scandinavian countries, we are trying to get them back to Marmaris. They were very happy here many years, but they went back. They are coming very slowly. One flight, it doesn't mean anything. But after my 33 years now, I've been working in tourism. I see now, and I can say, the magic is not to have all countries. The magic is not a problem with the major countries. As a hotelier base, as a destination base, as a politically. If you have a problem with British market, how can you find 1 million guests from different countries? It's impossible. Even not impossible. Impossible. So we are trying to invite the small countries, but the main thing, the majority is more important. Europeans are more important. Let's say Russian tourists, all Russian territory, I mean, Ukraine, Russian. There was no guest from Ukraine. Last year, 400,000. It was a great number, but this year, 0. So it was very difficult to fill our rooms in the absence of Ukrainian customers. It's not easy. You can't do that with Czech market. Or
you are starting from March to beginning of
March. This season from 15th of March till 15th of November. Because British operator Jet2, which is the leader one in Turkey now, and they said the CEO still happy. He came and visited us, and he said, I am trying to prolong the season here till the end of November, which is very, very, very, very important for a destination. And they said, can you give us more rooms in November, or can you give us a longer period? We did not say yes, unfortunately, till the end of November, because there's no guarantee and the costs are very high in hotel business. So we try to keep till 15th November, but they were here till the 10th or 11th of November with some number of guests, which was not important, but it was a beginning. So in a few years, if we try to keep still some available rooms for British operators, I am sure this season will be for British market.
That's why I was asking this question.
Yeah, from 15. Now this year,
Extended
we signed
season.
the contract 15 for British market. Normally, we are starting with the Iranian market, Nevruz, 1st of March and end of March, 2 weeks for Iranian market. And it's also the Kuşadası is also very popular for this Nevruz market. And the Iranians are coming here, so we started with them. And the British said we want to start earlier, so we signed the contract for 15th of March till the end of November. We will try again. We will see, but this is a very good effort for Marmaris, for Dalaman Airport, I mean, from the operator side. But I should say we have to play this game, tourism. We have to play this game with just right partners, the strong one. Otherwise, let's say I just gave the sample, an example. If you lose your British market, and we lost it in 2021, English British government, they stopped the fly to Turkey charters. So we experienced that. If there was no Russians on that time, we had to be close. We had to close all our hotels. So it was very major problem. Once again, I want to say, you have to look after your major partners always.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. At the moment, I see that there are three graduate students, and Selin attended the meeting. Welcome, Selin. Selin Güloğlu, can you hear me? Are you there, Selin? Are you online? Okay, no problem. So, is there any question or contribution from the other participants, other students? If not, I may have a question to Dr. Günaydın. Okay, I think no more question from the students and other participants. Dear Yusuf, I was wondering that the deeper effect of the biggest crisis, namely COVID-19 pandemic, and the biggest effect were seen on the employees, you know, during the pandemics and after the pandemics, and most of the staff, either managers or other group or other level of staff, remote from the sector to other sectors, and after the COVID ended, how about the relative percentage of these people coming back to the sector again? And what is the problem to find some of the employees for specific departments? Perhaps you remember, I think 2 years ago, we were in Bodrum and stayed at the hotel, your ex-hotel, and we observed that there are lots of people working on the restaurant, but they are mostly from this southern Anatolia, southeastern Anatolia, and may it be an indicator for the people who are removing from the sector, and instead the sector collected some of the people from the other part of Anatolia. That's the question.
Yeah, better to start from the last part. Yes, in all touristic area in Turkey, or touristic resorts, and any kind of in any kind of tourism establishments, hotels, restaurants, bar, whatever, southeast part, the human resources from southeast part of Turkey are the major one. It was not the story for a few years, but it was coming from, let's say, last 20 years, because hotel business, especially restaurant business, is not easy. Their income sometimes very low, so they need some staff who doesn't care the money first, who cares about the work and a house to stay with 10 people, to work longer hours and less money. So not everyone accept these conditions, of course, but that part they are ready to accept it, and they do that. So slowly. Now they took all the management part in restaurant, bars, not hotel business, but restaurant and bars. So one is inviting the other one, two inviting the other 10 one, 10 inviting the 100 one. So they're full, unfortunately. During pandemic time, as I mentioned during my speech, it was a great experience for us. For the staff, way of staff, as you know, the government paid us some salary, which was 10 times less than I was paid, but there was no way, because we closed the hotel. There is no money from hotel side. We paid all the money back to the operators. There was no finance, really no finance, zero. So we lost. We sent all the staff during June. Let's say we were starting early April to operate the hotel, to open the season. But April, March, April, May, June, there was no staff. Only government paying the salary. Hotel did not pay, so we stayed at home. We had to be at least 150 staff altogether, but we were only 10. These are all department managers. We stayed there. We didn't go anywhere. When there is no payment from hotel side, 99% hotelier, the staff, 99%, they left the region. They went back to their house, their home. Maybe if they are farmer, they go back to their garden, or they went back to school or whatever. So we lost the majority of our staff. So when we were ready to start the season, it was very difficult to find educated staff, unfortunately. So we invited all the staff from eastern part. There was no education, and language. There is no language. Even there is no Turkish language. They don't know how to serve, how to behave to the customers. There is nothing. There is nothing from literature. So it was so difficult. I hope we will not have to experience that problem in the future. But there are two main problems. One, finance. Two, the staff. Yes, government paid some money, but it was very far being just enough to live alone or to look after your family.
Okay, thank you very much. And the second question, by the way, one of the graduate students attended the meeting, Teresa Sokolova. She is from Czech Republic. And can you hear me, Teresa?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, you are online. I'm not sure when I see only the names, whether you are available online or not. Okay, can we see you? Can you turn on the camera?
Yes, hello.
Okay, hello. We were talking about the crisis management in tourism sector. As I informed previously, Dr. Yusuf Günaydın is a manager of a five-star hotel in Marmaris, and he is also an academician, carrying title associate professor, and I think is the member staff in a Cyprus University, right?
Yes, International
Okay,
Final University.
But online, okay. He told us some important information about the crisis management, especially after COVID-19. And I have one more question to him, and if you would like, you have, and you can ask some specific questions. Okay, then the next question, Dr. Yusuf, is about the war in our northern area. That is the war between Ukraine and Russia, and the war in the southern part. In my opinion, this is not a war. This is only the occupation in some geographic area by Israel army. The first question, how about the effect of the Ukrainian and the Russian war or the conflict on the both nationalities? Is there any important decrease in Russian tourists who are coming to at least Marmaris? And we know that the number of Ukrainians are generally very low. This is the first one. And the second question, a couple of years ago, we had a meeting. I think it was a tourism congress in Marmaris or Antalya, I do not remember. However, at the hotel, there was a wedding in another ballroom, and we thought that this was an Arabic wedding, or at least Azerbaijan or Iranian. However, it was Israeli wedding, and their music and the play style are very similar to our traditions. And I observed that Turkey and the southern part of the country is a very popular destination for Israeli tourists. And what is the relative share of this group for Marmaris or Bodrum or some similar destination? It has been a little bit very long question, consisting of several parts.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, you can answer whatever you want.
This season in March, when I came here, it was 24th of March. There was an Israeli group which was 100 rooms, which is 200 guests, and there are some other groups next to each other. So this area, south of Turkey, and also including Istanbul, but mainly south of Turkey, welcoming Israeli guests. And Israeli guests, they are very happy here. Even they have the country near the seaside, they are very happy to spend time in our country. On the other hand, when I was here, Israeli group had a musical meetings in our meeting room. Suddenly I noticed a Turkish music coming from meeting hall, and I wondered what's happening. I went there and I listened, as you said, Hocam. Their music and our music very similar. They are very nearly same. Very
Almost
similar,
the
but
same.
nearly same. Almost the same. So I was standing there for 10-15 minutes, and I met that time. I met the organizer of that group. I asked him, "Is it your music?" They said, "Yes, it's our music." "No, it's our music." And he said, "No, our music." So we shaking hands. Okay, it's our music. So politically, we had sometimes problem with them, and now there is one more now there. But Israel and Israel guests, they are not happy, I think, in other countries, even Europe, more than they are here. They are very happy here because as a hotelier, as a people, nation, we do not have any problem with them. The problem is a political problem. And like the Greece and Turkey relationship, we have many Greece guests in tourists in Marmaris, in Bodrum, Izmir, everywhere. They are coming, staying here, spending money, they go back. Even one of the most famous basketball team, I think Olympiakos, the trainer is Ataman, Ersin Ataman. One Turkish trainer in
Panathinaikos.
Panathinaikos.
Yes.
And I think he won the game against Olympiakos. So that game was I think their derby. So he can manage a team there, and the Greek people are coming here. Israelis coming here, having good time here, and they go to also Cyprus to play gambles there. But they are here in our country. When we have meetings, when we have some speeches with them, I feel myself, I am talking with people who is living in Istanbul, a bit higher society, I'm trying to mean. So as a people, as a nation, we are happy with them. The Ukrainian and the Russians, yeah, unfortunately, this is the game now. And we lost 1.6 million Ukrainian guests this year. It's a huge number, 1,600,000 guests, 600,000 guests. And the Russians, it was the best year 2019, more than 7 million. This year we expect, I think, nearly 4 million. But we gave great discounts. Turkish Airlines gave great discounts. Otherwise, they have no chance. There's no airplane company to fly from Moscow to Antalya. Impossible. Because America, they all stopped their Boeing airplanes. They can't fly now. So it's a big problem. Unfortunately, there's a problem in Israel. We are struggling. And there's a war, Ukraine and Russia. We have again problem. So we are in the middle of the game, unfortunately, but we can't manage the problem around us. So we lost billions. If there was no war, or if numbered again about 7 million or 6 million, this year's was going to be the number 1 year or the best year forever in tourism time in our country. But the Europeans supporting, even they do not have any plan, they are supporting Ukraine. America is supporting Ukraine, but they are not supporting Ukraine only. They are supporting the war, unfortunately. And now Putin, we saw Putin as not as big as or as huge as military power, but Putin is Putin. Russia is Russia. They are 50 times bigger than Ukraine, or maybe 20 times bigger. But if the war doesn't end soon, next year we will have again problems, because they say we sign contract for 100 rooms with the Russian company. It should be normally 200 rooms daily, so 50% discount, but we are not sure if we have it or not.
Okay, thank you. Thanks again. Let's check if anybody who has questions. Is there any more question, dear students?
Hocam, I have no questions, but after the speech of Yusuf Hocam, I feel a little bit discouraged as a student of tourism industry because I haven't seen anything positive for the next future months.
Before Yusuf Günaydın answered this question, let me express something. As I heard that a couple of days ago, maybe last week, I heard that the number of the visitors who are coming to Turkey first 10 months is over 50 million. Is it correct, Yusuf Bey? This is the good news for the all the tourism professionals and academics, etc.
2019, the number was 52, 53 million something, but there was daily visitors, so they about 5 million daily. So net number was 446 million in 2019. So the number is a gross numbers. Yes. So we have to find the net numbers. It should be around, again, 46, 47 million. But if the war doesn't stop in north of Turkey, we will not have the more than 55, 60, 65, 70 million numbers. It's impossible. The war should stop. It should come to an end, but I don't know how.
Okay. Aslanım, don't be pessimistic. Tourism never goes away. Because this is the largest sector, one of the top 3 sectors all over the world, as we emphasized many times through our lectures. However, depending on some problems and some events and some risky situations and earthquakes and wars, regional wars, especially create some of the fluctuations in tourist numbers, not only in Turkey, but also all over the world.
Thank you very much.
Do you have any contribution, Aslan?
Well, I hope that the future will be bright, much better than. I hope that we will reach the pre-pandemic levels. I hope much more than the pre-pandemic levels. I'm always positive for a bright future. Thank you very much.
By the way, last week or 2 weeks ago, we were in Belgium because of a meeting, a project week. It was known as the ASIP. And as Aslı experienced it in Italy, it is very beneficial for our students because during the week, the program full of some of the activities, including area visits and museum visits and visiting some of the attraction. And additionally, there are some keynote speakers discussing the new type of tourism and the recent developments and etc. Over there, the most important point was discussed as a slogan. The slogan says that from more to better. Emphasizing the importance of the quality of the tourist instead of a huge number of the tourists. We may accommodate less number of tourists than, say, 50 million, but their spending power should be more than any mass tourist. in the short period, short term, I know that it is not easy converting the all-inclusive tourism to more individual tourism. And perhaps your new hotel is open to these type of high-quality visitors, and it is during the meeting and during the project week, it was strongly recommended that the countries should turn it into traditional mass tourism to more customized tourism and high quality tourism. What is your opinion, Yusuf Bey, in this matter? Is it easy or not? This is the Turkish style tourism, and almost impossible to change it.
When we look at the hotels, the luxury hotels, let's say, in our resort, I can count, let's say, 5 high capacity and really good type of service. Like in Bodrum, Güvercinlik, Lujo Hotel, one of the best one, and Titanic's, let's say, similar. Rixos, not exactly same, but we can say. In Kefalık hotels in Akyarlar, Bodrum, Dimaris Bay in Datça Bay. There are some hotels like that. Last year they were nearly full, but this season, that luxury hotels were nearly the Lujo, 20% occupancy all year. Why? Because when there's a crisis, there are, earlier I mentioned about it, there should be in a resort, there should be different type of hotels. The higher qualities, the guests who are ready to pay more than the others are easy guests to run away because they care about their life more than cheap tourists. When we look at our history, last 10 years, during a crisis, the guests with more income or much income, they left us, like Scandinavians, Norwegians. If I'm not wrong, Norwegians they have the highest national income in all Europe, I think, or one of the higher. So they left us because they care about security, and they feel themselves not happy or secure even if there is no terrorism, but some news about terrorism, it's enough for them. So if we have that high quality everywhere, and if we fill all resorts, if you fill all the resort with that high quality hotel, what will happen then if something happens? So the investors, they are free to invest for better quality. Let's say Barut Group, which is famous in Antalya, they opened one hotel in Didim. Their price is double than our price now. Really high price they gave to the market now. So the investors, they experience to give good service, high level service in their group Barut hotels. So they did it now. People, if they want to somewhere like that, they can go there. But I can't say we all together have to do that. No, we can't manage that. That's why Bodrum was just 20-30% full this year, while Bodrum Marmaris is full 96%. So I'm repeating, they're in the market. The investors should be free. We think they are free, and get customers, they are free. Sometimes we're talking about all-inclusive, it's necessary or not. If we have now 50 million guests, minimum 50 million of 50% of the 50 million, yeah, about 25 or 30 millions are coming for all-inclusive. How can we say we don't need all-inclusive? No, We need good service for different income level. Someone pays 50 euro, someone pays 500 euro. How can be that service equal? Impossible. No, this opinion is not correct from my point of view. But in 1 star or in 5 stars, there should be one thing: they should give their service as they announced, as they informed their guests. Clean, secure, hygiene. These are important. Otherwise, people are free to come and stay in Lujo Hotel if they pay 500 euro per night per person. If they come to Orca Hotel, they will pay 125 euro. But they give every day jumbo karides hocam, which costs too much 1,000 lira. So they give different service. We are giving different service. Price cannot be the same. But we can, of course, support. First of all, we should support more guests, to have more guests to the hotels. On the other hand, the investors, they should decide themselves. If they see the market, they do that. Now in Didim, Barut Hotels, they invest for high quality. In Fethiye, Fabay, very high quality. They do that. But if we say, oh, if every hotel, all the hotels are ready for that high quality service, no, it's not easy. It's not possible.
Okay, I think time is almost finishing. Thanks again. Thank you so much for your time allocation and the information give us. We may have a short question if the participant has, and if not, we should finish the seminar. And once again, thank you to Yusuf Günaydın, Dr. Yusuf Günaydın, and other students. Thank you for your participation